All right, so we're looking at a 1929 Studebaker house car. Only one of these. And I'm with the owner, Jack, and we're going to walk around a little bit and look at some of the details.
It was made in Los Angeles, California.
And, okay. And what are these little things down here?
These are your, where you would pull out, where you could hook to water and put your water in here, and that way you'd have running water inside. So those are your hoses, and then you have a valve for draining your tank, which is up here, and it has dual tanks.
Nice.
And then this is another water outlet that's designed to let the inside spigot flow, so you'd hook one of these on to keep it away from your camper.
Gotcha.
You should also have at the back one more water drain, and this would be for the master tub.
Okay. And we'll see that in a minute.
Yes, we will.
All right. These are beautiful windows. What can you tell me about them?
All the windows in it are original. They're lead glass. They're lead glass windows. And this is how it came to me. I mean, so I left it original. I had safety plate glass put in the side windows with new channel felt, and safety glass put in the driver's windows. The top piece up here has an awning that goes down the side and attaches. It has the original rail system that goes in it and anchors down in here, so you'll have an awning that comes out about 8 to 9 feet.
Okay, and the hardware for that's in the pipe on the other side?
Hardware for that is in the pipe on the other side, and the actual awning is under the passenger seat.
Okay. And that's the pipe right here for the
This is the pipe that stores your awnings.
Okay. Very nice. Now, tell me about these two valves here.
Okay, when she's running and she's in neutral, you can pull this, and this will engage your air compressor. And then you have on here an air valve. You screw a line on here, and you run that line, and let me grab the key. Back to this area. And back in here, this is where you would screw it on. And what you would do is you would close this valve here and open this one. And that would allow the engine to build up the air in here. Once you got your air up, you could open this valve like this.
And it would keep pressure on the water in the tank.
And it would pressurize the tanks. That way you would have running water on the inside.
Right. Very nice.
And like I said, all the keys and locks are original.
Okay, so let's take a look on the inside.
Okay, this would be your middle compartment. We left it all original. And what you have on the inside is an upper bunk and a lower bunk for sleeping. It has lights above for reading, above each bunk, and they work. You can have a light up top, and then you've got a sink with running water.
And these straps here are used to whoever's sleeping here, kind of keep them in a safe...
keep them from rolling out the bunk.
Falling out.
Which is real unusual. And then over here you have a stove with 2 burners and a bread warming box up top.
And in here just more of storage, because I see some screens here.
Yeah, this is more like, I guess, a place somebody would store their shaving equipment because of the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
They might want to store toothbrushes. It's got little compartments, that type thing.
Okay.
For whoever was staying in this bunk. These are the original colors. We found the original color of the original curtains and had it duplicated. And then that light works, and you have one above you that works. So you'd have more lights. These would open out for ventilation in the summertime.
And here is where you keep the table that you keep stored here.
Yeah, this table, we just unfold it, use it over here. It makes a place that you can eat off of, gives you plenty of room. Down below you have, I call it like a kitchen gut sink, where you want to pour out your old coffee and whatever's left over, this can go out. So, and that's original. Next to it you have a battery compartment, and this is from the factory a 12-volt system. From the factory, everything on it's 12 volts.
And originally it had two 6 volts in here?
It originally had two 6s. You have towel racks on each side. We even have the vintage towels that we put in here. And it has a fuse panel box. That's unusual. And if you'll notice, it's hard to see, but right here, it looks like a 110 plug-in. That's actually 12 volt. So you could plug in 12 volt lights. You also have one over here.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go check out the rear section.
Okay. The rear section is made of a lighter wood, and I think this is where the owner and his wife would have slept, due to it's a little bit more elaborate than the middle section. It has lights in it also. Come on, stay on. There you go. You're not gonna work. There it goes. There we go. And we have one more light back in here. If I can find the switch. There it is. And this is what I would call the gentleman's side on the right, lady's side on the left. Maybe a storage compartment above just to hold blankets. Being in California, I don't think you would need a whole lot, but it is storage. Maybe hats, blankets, all the storage they could get, they could use. It has a mirror above the sink for the man to shave, and then it has a sink.
Yeah, this is very nice.
This comes out, and then again there's another plug-in. We have the original glasses that go in here. They're kind of a milk colored. And then on the lady's side, it has a hat pin holder, kind of a jewelry thing to go in the middle, and it actually has a writing desk that pulls out so the lady could write notes. And then you have your drawers in here that would open up for storage. And in the middle of the night, if you didn't want to go out, you have a chamber pot.
Very nice. But the most interesting feature to me is what I'm standing on.
Okay.
So let's see what that is and how that works.
So this is where you take a bath. And it is a real unique feature. I mean, it actually says it was made by Standard, who's still in business today. It's original to it. So you could get wet, stand up, fill up a pitcher, pour the water on, dry off, you had that.
That's a great feature.
It also had an intercom system back of it to call your driver up front if you needed something, and again another 12-volt plug-in.
Nice venting.
Yep, this is a vent that if you're sleeping in the top bunk and you want to get a little draft, you just kick this open, put this back to keep mosquitoes from bothering you, and you got a little vent.
And this here also will fold out to the bunk, like the front.
Yeah, this is like a Pullman. It would come up. And then you have your top bunk.
And when that's up, you have a see-through or a walk-through or...
Correct. Now that I'm not sure was original. I don't know if they had a curtain, but I'm thinking at some time they opened that up simply. They were in a colder climate and they would generate heat. Get back here.
Okay, now all these lights work here, the original directionals and stoplight and license plate light, but you have, it looks like, some modern safety lights and this little beacon light. Tell me about that.
Well, what we decided to do when we were rewiring it, we put these on so they were, this is only, your turn signals are so small, but they do work. We put on truck brake lights and turn signals to give it better visibility. And this is just a flashing light like maybe a mailman would use. If I see a wreck coming up or I'm pulling a long hill and I'm dropping speed, which is not often, I flip a switch and it starts letting traffic know that I'm slowing down.
Okay.
And so all of this is removable. It has a plug-in under it, and then it's also wired back here that if you wanted to build a trailer hitch, you're already wired to go again to pull your trailer.
Very nice.
So if you go to show, you simply unbolt it, take it off, put it back on. We found a backup bell when we were restoring it, and that's where it came from.
But that's not working at the moment.
It's not working. There was no wire there.
Okay.
And all the wiring that works the lights is in conduit. All that is in conduit.
Now tell me about the gas tank. You said you had it rebuilt or made.
Yep, we took the original gas tank and we saved this neck only. Everything else was taken off and duplicated identical to the original with baffles inside, and it was made of stainless steel.
Okay.
So we had all that done, painted back black like we'd found it.
So this motor here is a standard Studebaker President motor.
This is a President 8, and we rebuilt everything on it completely. We pulled it out. We had all new rings, pistons, everything done. We put in aluminum pistons, balanced everything, rebalanced the crank, and like I said, all new hoses, new wiring going to it. Rebuilt the fuel pump. We've got a new carburetor we found for it. So I mean, she's in top-notch shape.
That sounds great. What about the transmission?
Transmission, we dropped the transmission. We bought all new bearings from a gentleman up in North Carolina, Old Car Bearing. Put all new bearings in it. We had the clutch sent off and completely rebuilt and balanced. Flywheel's been rebalanced, so everything on it we went through. And this is a little unusual because most Studebakers would have come with a 3-speed transmission. This is on a bus chassis. It has a fuller 4-speed. and fourth gear is not direct. It's not a one-to-one. Whatever it is, I mean, well, we were running 60 and 65.
65 miles an hour.
Yeah, so I mean, it will roll.
Now it looks like all the rims and tires are new, and the
we have all new wheel bearings. We had the tires, all new tires. We had the rims sandblasted and powder coated. And we did it for safety because we didn't know the condition, and these are split rims. So we did that. On the rear end, we were not able to find the bearings, the outside bearings. Nobody had them, so we had to pull the rear end. We had to machine the axles, and we had to machine the rear end housing. It now has modern seals. It has modern tapered bearings that are preloaded by a nut. And then, as heavy as this is, Studebaker had put what you use on trucks and buses is called a shoe. It rides against your pinion gear. I don't think it was ever installed correctly by Studebaker. Not according to modern standards. So we re-engineered it, and it now only has 1/1000th clearance. Once you go into a turn, there's a shoe that starts pushing against a pinion to keep it straight so it doesn't put the spider gears in a bind and break an axle. And that's made of bronze, impregnated bronze. It's got oil impregnated into it. We tried to leave everything we could on it original. It even has a 12-volt light plug on the outside. So if you're at a campground, you can find your RV at night. It has a new complete exhaust system on it that's identical to what the original was. The gauges were taken out and sent off and rebuilt, but we did not alter the face. We left them old and original like we found them.
Now the original gas gauge was a capillary type, but this was added in at some point.
That was added in when the Bakers had it, evidently. The capillary gauge, it wasn't even in the tank. It didn't have anything in the tank. And the person who owned it before me was Elijah Remy Baker. And he owned it from somewhere around 1960 till about 2006 when I bought it.
Okay, we're ready. Let's go for a ride.
Here's going to be the problem. Fair warning. Just getting onto this road right here is a nightmare because of afternoon traffic. But I'm telling you, it is a nightmare to get on this road. Literally. With this big beast, and that's the only thing we can do is get onto it. We're getting ready to go. wasn't made to baby. They drove it from San Bernardino, California to Syracuse, New York, so if it was made to baby, they wouldn't do it.
Calibrated the speedometer with a GPS?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I told you to run 60, 65. Almost 65.
That's it? Well, that motor sounds good.